And thank you to everyone who showed up today for Sunday service. We are grateful to see you here today. We know you had many choices in our online world, and we're delighted you chose to spend the morning with us. And for those who watch the video at a later time, we're grateful for you too. So, Friday, I was at the grocery store getting some things for supper, and the young man who was bagging my groceries was really, really chatty. I don't know if it was nerves or what, but anyway, he was just like, blah, 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 blah. And I don't remember how we got started on the topic of what we were doing for Thanksgiving, but I guess it's on the forefront of everybody's mind. So it's really easy to go there. He was saying that his family had always gathered in person for Thanksgiving, and they were really struggling with what to do this year. And he had some older relatives that were unwell and some younger ones that worked the front lines in the medical field. And there was nobody who was really comfortable gathering in person. And everyone was a little sad about that. So they were really grateful they could gather electronically and at least see each other and feel like they were doing a better job of taking care of themselves and each other by gathering online than in person. And this is not to say that if you're choosing to gather in person with people you don't live with, you're doing anything wrong. I wouldn't say that. It's not mine to say. I will say that every single person has the individual personal authority, should they choose to use it, to decide what's right and appropriate for them to do. And this most unusual year we're having is giving each one of us the opportunity to pay attention to what matters most to us and make some decisions. It may be very uncomfortable to buck the system or have people you care for choose differently than you want them to. But I celebrate and am grateful for the experience of personal empowerment that happens when individuals decide and get to decide what's important for them rather than just going on along with whatever's been true before. I still remember the first call I had with my mom after my divorce when I told her I wouldn't be flying home to the family home for Thanksgiving and Christmas. I would let her pick the holiday that was more important to her, and I would be there, but I wasn't flying in for both. She wasn't happy about it at all, but she mostly understood. I had been an adult for a bunch of years by that time. During the decade I was married, I didn't look forward to the end of the year because we drive up to Jerry's family home for 3 or 4 days over Thanksgiving. And then we fly south to see my folks for the week before Christmas and Christmas Day. And then we fly back to our house in Cleveland. And then we drive 5 or 6 hours up to spend the rest of that week and into the new year with Jerry's family. It was what was expected of us. And I cooperated with it because that was how I thought it was supposed to be. I loved them all, and I loved spending time with them. And by the time January rolled around, I needed a vacation. So, one of the things I'm really grateful for in this pandemic is the shift in consciousness that's possible when individuals realize that they have choices they can make and that other people do too. Anytime we learn to work our edges and boundaries more consciously, that's a benefit for everyone. And I won't imply for a second that it's easy or necessarily nice, but it's a phenomenal benefit. And each one of us gets to decide first and then practice and learn to have strength in deciding and choosing what matters to us. There's a quote from Emerson that I used earlier this month. Cultivate the habit of being grateful for every good thing that comes to you and to give thanks continuously. Because all things have contributed to your advancement, you should include all things in your gratitude. He's not saying that everything we experience is instantaneously wonderful. but that all things, all experiences, all conversations contribute to our advancement, to our awakening, to our enlightenment, to our conscious growth, even the stuff that's irritating and challenging. It wakes us up to situations where we have unconsciously tripped ourselves up. And we are the only ones who can free ourselves when we trip ourselves up by finding benefit in all our experiences. So, in yesterday morning's daily practice, we were reading from Ernest Holmes' 365 Science of Mind. One small piece of that reading. By some deep inner spiritual realization, I penetrate the mask of separation and discover the unity of all life. I identify myself with this unity, finding the Christ consciousness within. The other thing I want to mention, because it was such an expansive idea to those of us who attended the Wednesday night class, is this idea called delight. Recognizing and savoring the delight we experience in our daily lives. It's that simple practice of paying attention and noticing those things that feel uplifting when they happen, when we have the experience. And I know, and you know, that after doing it for a while, making a gratitude list can feel like a chore, and there's absolutely no joy in it. But what if instead we simply paid attention to those little things in our lives that delighted us? The feel of the cool morning air after such a long, hot summer, or the sharp, sour taste of the first mandarin orange of the year. It's not momentous, it's not like outstanding, but it's certainly a moment of delightfulness, of gratitude, of feeling alive and enlivened by what happens in our lives. And it's being present and noticing the goodness that surrounds us. And it's around us all the time. We just have to lift our heads up and notice. There's a poem by modern day Zen mystic and teacher Ajasanti called Praise This Day. I'll read it. Save your mentally manufactured tales of enlightenment to come for someone else's ears. The price to enter this love is your hope of a better future. We are not a crowd of beggars here. You and I have been down that long, twisted road all the way to its end. Here we do not ask God for favors, but instead we celebrate the light in each other's eyes. So if you are ready to stop denying yourself your own beauty, you have come to the right place. Wake up now and praise this day when you realize that God's eyes are the ones you are looking out of and into. Praise this day, and with each breath you take, be filled with the golden arc of love, which announces the ending of your argument with God. Praise this day simply because it exists, and sit down now in the warm skin of your own lap, for you are home, and it is time to rest in the merciful light of your own eyes. Now we're going to do something that we haven't done on a Sunday morning for a couple of months. I'm going to pause the recording, and we're going to let the Zoom magic create breakout rooms for small groups of you to talk to each other, to talk with each other about what gratitude really looks like for you, what delight looks like, how you embody and emanate, how you experience a grateful heart, knowing that everything looks different than what we're used to, and maybe different even than what we want. And for those of you who really like to talk, please make sure that everyone in your group has a chance to speak. Okay. So I'll set the timer for 10 minutes, which for those of you who show up for morning meditation know that that goes by really fast. And since we have people from all over North America zoomed in today, you may be put in a group with people you don't know. That gives you a chance to expand your circle of connections. So I'll set up the Zoom rooms, and in 9 minutes, you'll get a 1-minute warning. This is your chance to finish up, to exchange contact information if you want. And if you don't want to join a Zoom room, you don't have to. I'll be in the main room and you can stay. Or you can come back early if you finish up in your room. It's all about choice and everyone's ability to decide for themselves. So take a deep breath, put on a smile. I'm going to open the Zoom rooms and I'll see you in 10 minutes. It doesn't hurt, I promise. I know it's scary, but it really doesn't hurt.
Do we just go to a room?
So as soon as I push this open all rooms button, you'll get an invitation to join a room.
Oh.
So join a room, put a smile on your face, take a breath, and I'll see you in 10 minutes.
Okay.
So thank you all for playing. I think it's fun, and you guys get a chance to talk to each other for a change, because Sundays are not like that normally. So I hope that was good for you. Normally people that come out of a Zoom room are smiling because it was fun to like visit and socialize and get to interact a little bit. And there are a few people that don't like it and don't play, and that's okay too. That's a choice. And it's one that's completely available for anybody who wants to like take it. So anyway, I set that up because I wanted to leave you with this idea, this thought before I close. And that is, if you notice that you are feeling isolated anytime during the coming days and weeks, you have the ability to reach out to other people and connect. And if you can't reach out instantaneously by person, by phone, or through any of the ways we have to visually connect, you can still do it the old-fashioned way and send them a card or a letter in the mail or an email. And what I know from personal experience is the act of writing a card to someone connects me to them, even if they won't see it for 10 days or so. So we are never without ways to connect. We just have to take advantage of it and use it. Use what we have available to us. So I want to close with two pieces. One, a little thought thing that Seth Godin wrote this week, which is, I'm going to mangle it, but I can't figure out how else to do it. The word is quartzaluni, and it's an Inuit word for sitting together in the darkness quietly, waiting for something creative or important to occur. Seth writes, of course this works. The only difficult part is doing it. We're buzzy people, inundated with noise, using our busyness to hide from the important work that's right in front of us. So we have to choose and decide and act. But it's really choosing and deciding and acting which comes from the core of us. And then a poem by a fellow named Ross Gay. The title of the poem is Sorrow is Not My Name. No matter the pull towards the brink, no matter the florid deep sleep awaits, there is time for everything. Look, Just this morning, a vulture nodded its red grizzled head at me, and I looked at him, admiring the sickle of his beak. And then the wind kicked up, and after arranging his good suit of feathers, he up and took off just like that. And to boot, there are on this planet alone something like 2 million naturally occurring sweet things, some with names so generous as to kick the steel from my knees. Agave, persimmon, stickball, the purple okra I bought for $2 at the market. Think about that. The long night, the man behind me on the bus taking notes. Yeah, but look, my niece is running through a field calling my name. My neighbor sings like an angel. And at the end of the block is a basketball court. I remember. My color is green. I'm spring. So remember to notice, to recognize, to claim and name your blessings, your delights, your gratitudes. And when you have trouble finding them, search them out and connect as you need to. Connect as you choose to. In doing that, you bless yourself and all of us as well. Thank you. So I want to go ahead and roll right into the prayer, which is to say, I celebrate this day. I celebrate this gathering. I celebrate this opportunity to remember each and everything I am grateful for. I celebrate this opportunity to remember all the stuff, the good stuff and the not so good stuff, because I know each and every part of it is divine mind in form, in motion, in action, waking me up to something I've forgotten or showing me some delight that I didn't really give much credit to. Every bit of that is that one mind, that one life, that one love, that one heart, that one peace and joy and harmony and great good. So I celebrate this great good in this season of Thanksgiving. And I celebrate this opportunity to share that awareness with myself and with everyone I come in contact with. I feel so blessed to be able to be part of this community and to be at one, at home, in it, with it, as it. Celebrating this day, this season, in all its splendor. I relax, allow, and let it be. And so it is.